10 teachers who were attacked by their students' parents. We've already told you the stories of murderous teachers and college professors. We've even told you about teachers who completely lost their minds. On the flip side, some students frequently cause trouble for teachers and other students. But we like to think that parents are the voice of reason when there's a problem with their kids at school. Yes, teachers have to deal with angry parents at times, but these parents usually just verbally abuse teachers whenever they believe their children are being mistreated. However, some parents go further and violently attack their children's teachers. 10. Catherine Lang-Engelhardt. When Catherine Lang-Engelhardt confronted an unruly group of students, she confiscated one student's lacrosse stick. She wrote the 12-year-old student up for cursing and not having a hall pass. The student told her mother, Annika Mackenzie, that the teacher had pulled my arm and pushed me against the wall, a claim that was never proven. Mackenzie drove to the school, marched past the school's security, and waited outside Lang-Engelhardt's classroom. When Lang-Engelhardt left her classroom, Mackenzie confronted her. Lang-Engelhardt told Mackenzie that she needed to get a pass from the security guards before they could speak. Instead, Mackenzie struck the teacher, put her in a headlock, and threw her to the ground. Lang-Engelhardt was quickly surrounded by students. She could not breathe and fell unconscious. While she was under, Mackenzie's 14-year-old niece punched the teacher and hit her with a bottle. When Lang-Engelhardt regained consciousness, she was dizzy, had blurred vision, and had to be hospitalized. She had suffered a concussion. Mackenzie was found guilty of assault and sentenced to 6 months in jail. 9. Stuart Devereux. One of Stuart Devereux's students refused to sit where he was told, and Stuart banished him from his classroom. Later that day, Stuart was asked to attend a meeting with the student's mother, Tracy Buckley. During the meeting, Tracy said, "You wouldn't bully my Jimmy," referring to her husband. Then she added, "I hope he's Stuart gone home before Jimmy hears about this." After the meeting, Tracy blocked the school's parking lot exit with her car. Stuart was stuck behind her. Tracy's husband, James, soon drove up. James jumped out of his van, ran to Stuart's car, and yanked open the driver's door. He screamed, "You won't bully me." Then he began beating Stuart. James punched Stuart up to 10 times in his head before another parent pulled him off. Stuart was treated at the hospital for swelling to his jaw, a graze to his ear, and bruising. He suffered headaches for 4 days. James claimed that he attacked in self-defense. However, jurors rejected that claim. He was jailed for 8 months. 8. Jennifer Thorne. Jennifer Thorne was going outside to collect her students from the playground when she was attacked by Shan Sue and Derek Hoylett. Sue grabbed Thorne's scarf and coat and yanked the woman down the hallway. Hoylett pushed Thorne and then held back parents who tried to help her. Sue was loudly screaming as if she was possessed while she punched and kicked Thorne. The assault left the teacher with chronic pain and panic attacks. Both Sue and Hoylett were arrested. The couple claimed that Thorne had upset their son the day before the assault. Their 7-year-old son had gone home crying, and the pair wanted revenge. Hoylett was found guilty and was sentenced to 150 hours of community service. Sue pleaded guilty. She was sentenced to a 12-month community supervision order and had to attend an education and training program. After she was sentenced, Sue began to cry loudly and was asked to leave the court when she returned. She started shouting about her son's treatment at the school before she was forced to leave. 7. Louise Ingram Royal. Louise Royal was monitoring the halls when she noticed a parent, Neotha Fed, wandering around. Royal approached Fed and she told the parent to get a pass from the office. Fed attacked Royal, kicking her idly and dragging her by the hair down the hallway. People tried to help Royal, but Fed ran them off. She grabbed a custodial broom and started to beat Royal with it. Fed was finally subdued after several minutes. Royal was rushed to the hospital. She lost vision in her right eye, suffered injuries to her jaw and arm, and suffered irreversible brain damage. Royal was told that she would never be able to teach again. However, she said, "I'll fight it until the day I die, because it is my life and I can't imagine living without educating children." Fed was arrested. She claimed that Royal had mistreated her son years ago, and Fed wanted to take it out on Royal. Fed was found guilty of assault and sentenced to 20 years in prison. 6. Megan Jones. Megan Jones was frustrated with the behavior of Shaquella Sheila Leonard's son, so she set up a parent-teacher conference. Leonard quickly became irate at the criticism of her son's behavior, and the principal told Leonard to leave the building 5 minutes into the conference. Once the group was in the hallway, Leonard pulled a bottle of lighter fluid from her purse and began spraying it on Jones' face, arms, and chest. Leonard threatened to light the teacher on fire and burn the school down. Jones ran away when the liquid began burning her eyes. Fortunately, she suffered no permanent damage from the attack and was back in school the next day. Leonard fled the school but was soon captured by police. She claimed that she was angry because her son was being mistreated. However, investigators found no evidence to support or claim she was charged with assault. 5. Nancy Peer. Nancy Peer's 4th grade class was assisted by longtime parent volunteer Paul Joe Gonzalez. Jr. Peer and Gonzalez were having a conversation when Peer turned around. Gonzalez attacked her with a 9-inch kitchen knife. Gonzalez fled the room, leaving 30 horrified students behind. Peer pulled out the knife and told a student to dial 911. Some of the other students went to find help, and one found a police officer. Peer was brought to the hospital, where she was treated for a wound in her lower abdomen. She made a full recovery and returned to her old classroom 5 months later. Police quickly caught Gonzalez. He confessed to the crime, saying that he had recently stopped taking his medication for a bipolar disorder. Gonzalez believed that Peer was part of a government plot against his family. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. 4. Janice Watkins. Janice Watkins confiscated a cell phone from one of her students, and the 10-year-old girl bit her. In response, Watkins called the girl's mother, DeShonta Williams, for a conference. During the meeting, the child said Watkins had choked her. Williams became angry and told Watkins that she was going to get it later. Watkins got stuck in traffic when she left school that afternoon. As she was sitting in her car, she saw 2 people get out of a car behind her. Williams walked up to Watkins' car and threw a brick through the open window. It hit Watkins in her face. Then Williams and her boyfriend yanked Watkins out of her car and began punching and kicking her. Before the couple fled, Williams said, "I told you I would get you." Watkins dialed 911, and an ambulance took her to the hospital. She suffered facial injuries and lost a tooth. Both Williams and her boyfriend were arrested. 3. Rosalind Simmons. After school was dismissed, Rosalind Simmons sat at her desk and filled out a referral about one of her students' behavior. Simmons had scolded the disruptive boy, and he told her to shut up. The boy's mother, Shakira Green, marched into the classroom. She walked around Simmons' desk, asked what her problem was, and yelled threats at her. Simmons stood up and tried to get away from Green, who hit Simmons on the side of the neck with her elbow. Simmons blacked out and did not remember anything until she was outside her classroom. School staff overheard the commotion, ran inside the classroom, and restrained Green. She claimed that Simmons had mistreated her child and told a family member Simmons didn't know child's name, had a ghetto mama. Simmons was sent to the hospital, where she was treated for a herniated disc in her neck and a severe headache. Green was charged with battery on a school board employee. 2. Phyllis White. After Phyllis White disciplined one of her students, the child told his mother, Simone Baker, that White had scratched his neck. Baker was livid. She called the school and told them that she would soon be there. The principal met Baker and told the parent to schedule an appointment tomorrow. Baker ignored the principal and ran into White's classroom. She went behind the teacher's desk and began hitting White in the face 5-10 times as she held White's arm down. Baker grabbed White by her hair, picked her up out of her chair, and twice struck White's head against a file cabinet. Baker yelled, "You better not touch my kid again," and she left the classroom the next day. The student's father brought the child to school. Police interviewed him, and the boy admitted that the teacher had never touched him. Police soon caught Baker. She pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and was sentenced to 2 years as probation. 1. Felicia Williams. Mother Georgia, to discuss Sakita's grades and sporadic attendance. Felicia was uncomfortable with the meeting and asked a school police officer to observe another meeting because she was afraid for her safety. While Felicia was teaching, Sakita and Georgia burst into her classroom. They began arguing with Felicia, claiming that Felicia had given Sakita an outdated book. Felicia asked the pair to leave. However, Georgia pushed past her and grabbed a book off her desk. When Felicia tried to get the book back, Georgia pulled Felicia's hair and threw her to the ground. Then she and her daughter stomped on the teacher. 2 students stopped the attack. The assault left Felicia with severe neck and back pain, and she suffered from pain attacks. She did not return to the same school, although she did continue working as a teacher. Georgia pleaded guilty. She claimed that she had beaten the teacher because Felicia had it in for her daughter, so she took care of this situation.